boys and girls. Today we're going to read a story about one of the 50 states, the state that we live in, Pennsylvania. Let's take a trip through Pennsylvania. You'll have some great adventures there. You'll board a sailing ship and tour a mine. You'll see battlefields and soldiers' huts. You'll learn about Benjamin Franklin and Andrew Carnegie. You'll stand right next to the Liberty Bell. You'll explore mountains, forests, and canyons. You'll tour a chocolate factory and you'll meet a friendly groundhog named Phil. Are you ready? Then settle in and buckle up. Pennsylvania, here we come. Stand atop a rocky ridge, then look down the mountainside. Rushing waters are roaring hundreds of feet below you. You're gazing down Pine Creek Gorge. It's on the Allegheny Plateau. This region covers northern and western Pennsylvania. The Allegheny Mountains rise at its eastern edge. The Allegheny Plateau and the Allegheny Mountains are part of the Appalachian Range. The Pocono Mountains are in the northeastern Pennsylvania. They have many beautiful waterfalls. The land in the southeast is lower. 3 rivers come together in Pittsburgh. They're the Ohio, Allegheny, and the Monongahela rivers. The Delaware River forms Pennsylvania's eastern border. If you take a look at the map, the Pocono Mountains are right here. The Allegheny Plateau is right here. And here we have the Allegheny Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains that run all through here. You'll be able to locate some cities as well. Here we have Pittsburgh. We have Wellsboro, Smithport, and Phoenixville. Fun fact, Pennsylvania's northwest corner borders Lake Erie. That's one of the country's Great Lakes. Here it is. Punxsutawney Phil. Furry little Phil pokes his head out. He looks around and squints. Then he goes back into his hole. Too bad, 6 more weeks of winter. This famous groundhog is Punxsutawney Phil. People watch him on Groundhog Day, which is February 2nd. Will he see his shadow? If he doesn't, spring is coming. What if he sees it? Then winter's staying for 6 more weeks. Many other animals live in Pennsylvania. There are deer, rabbits, wild turkeys, and raccoons. Even black bears roam the woods. But only Phil predicts the weather. And here you can see people driving out west in Pennsylvania here to Punxsutawney. Phil must be ancient. People have been watching him since 1887. Maybe there's a new Phil every few years. Here are some fun facts. Groundhogs hibernate during the winter. That means they go into a deep kind of sleep. Pennsylvania's insectarium is an insect museum. The Roasting Ears of Corn Festival in Allentown. That's a city right by us. You can see Allentown here on the map. The dancers at the corn festival wear feathers and colorful beads. Some of the feathers look like big wings. You're watching Native American performers at the Roasting Ears of Corn Festival. Some performers belong to the Nanticoke, Lenape tribal nation. The Lenape and many other Native American groups gather at this festival every August. You'll find it at the Museum of Indian Culture in Allentown. Lancaster's Amish farm and house. Stroll around the farm. You'll see the windmill and barns. Cows and horses are grazing. The blacksmith is busy making horseshoes. Then visit the farmhouse. Wooden benches are set up for church services. Simple, dark clothes hang in the bedroom. You're visiting the Amish farm and house in Lancaster. The Amish are a Christian religious group. They're sometimes called the Pennsylvania Dutch. William Penn welcomed them to Pennsylvania. The Amish dress and live in a simple way. They don't use electricity or modern machines. They make most of the things they need. They believe that living simply brings them closer to their faith. They are a close community. They help their neighbors with chores. So here's where we live in Allentown, and here's Lancaster. So let's think, what direction is that if you put a compass there? So when you go to visit the Amish village, you can find a one-room schoolhouse, buggies, and an ancient barn. Many immigrants settled in Pennsylvania. and they came from Germany, Ireland, Italy, England, Poland, and several other countries. Valley Forge and the Revolutionary War. The colonies grew to hate British taxes. Colonial leaders formed the Continental Congress. They met in Philadelphia in 1774. Some colonists wanted to stay friendly with Britain. Others wanted to fight Britain for freedom. Soon the Revolutionary War, which was from 1775 to 1783, it broke out. General George Washington led the colonial army. Washington's army camped at Valley Forge one winter. It was bitterly cold and supplies were low. Many soldiers died there. You can visit Valley Forge today. You'll see the soldiers' log huts. You'll discover what life was like for people living in the camp. The colonial army beat the British at last. The colonies became the United States of America. Pennsylvania was the second state to enter the Union. It joined on December 12, 1787. Look at those cannons. They're all lined up in a row. Soldiers can roll them out when the battle began. George Washington and his soldiers crossed the Delaware River on Christmas Day, 1776. They surprised and beat the German mercenaries at Trenton, New Jersey. People act this crossing every Christmas at Washington Crossing Historic Park. Historic Philadelphia. Stand beside the Liberty Bell. It's bigger than you, and it weighs more than dozens of kids. This big bell is the Independence National Historical Park. That's Philadelphia's old section. You'll see many historic buildings there. One is Independence Hall. The Declaration of Independence was signed there. The U.S. Constitution was written there too. The Constitution states the country's basic ideas and laws. The First Continental Congress met in nearby Carpenter's Hall. Just walk along the streets. You'll learn about history without even trying. Look at the big crack in the Liberty Bell. It cracked in 1846 when people rang it during a celebration of George Washington's birthday. Benjamin Franklin's writings helped stir up feelings for freedom. Franklin also wrote Poor Richard's Almanac. It was full of wise sayings. A section of Independence Park teaches about Franklin's life and work. Erie's U.S. brig Niagara. Climb aboard the Niagara. It's a sailing ship called a brig. Then imagine you're fighting a sea battle. This ship won a famous battle in 1813. Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry commanded the Niagara. He was fighting in the War of 1812. Perry beat several British ships on Lake Erie. Then he made his famous report, "We have met the enemy and they are ours." The town of Erie is best known for building the ships used in this battle. But there's a lot to do in Erie. Many people enjoy its sandy lake shore. They play in the sand and waves. And right up here, you can see at the top here, top left, think about what direction that is. Northwest of our state is where you will see Erie. Let's check out the ship. Then let's go to Erie's Experience Children's Museum. We'll learn more about Lake Erie and other Great Lakes. So Lake Erie is one of the Great Lakes. Here you can visit the Erie Maritime Museum near Niagara's port. There you'll learn all about the Battle of Lake Erie. A brig is a sailing ship with two masts and square sails. Here you can see the two masts. Gettysburg and the Civil War. Looking out over the rolling fields of Gettysburg, thousands of soldiers died there. They were fighting the Civil War from 1861 to 1865. Northern and southern states fought this war over slavery. Pennsylvania and other northern states opposed slavery. Southern states wanted to keep slavery. This led to war. The North formed the Union side. Southern states pulled away and formed the Confederacy. A bloody 3-day battle took place at Gettysburg. Part of the battlefield was made into a cemetery. President Abraham Lincoln spoke there. His famous speech is called the Gettysburg Address. Let's start at the visitor center. It has an electric map of the battle. There's a circular room with a battle painting all around you. The Battle of Gettysburg took place July 1st through the 3rd, 1863. The Union side won. It was a major turning point in the war. More than 50,000 soldiers were killed, wounded, or captured at Gettysburg. The state capital in Harrisburg. You'll love visiting the state capital in Harrisburg. It looks like a grand palace. Just walk into the big round central area. Look up and you'll see almost 4,000 lights. Above you rises the huge curved dome. This is the main state government building. Pennsylvania has 3 branches of government. One branch makes the laws. Its members meet in the Capitol. Another branch carries the laws. It's headed by the governor. Judges make up the 3rd branch. They study the laws. Then they decide whether someone has broken the law. And here, this star on our map you can see is Harrisburg. Some areas of the Capitol have tile floors. The tiles show scenes of wildlife, industry, farming, and historical events. Wow, look at that dome. It weighs 52 million pounds. It won't fall, will it?